One more level of mastery. The last level of mastery is delivery. What's delivery about?
The courier comes and pick it up.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes. That's part of it. Here's delivery, plain and simple. If you can't deliver your product profitably today, don't go growing the business. Delivery is about making sure that you're delivering your product profitably. All right? Whatever you're selling, you need to be making a profit out of it. Because if you're not, you've got a problem. And if you don't know what your profitability is per product, you're in trouble. So delivery is about making sure you can deliver. By the way, when we work with businesses, this is the hardest area to get right. But do you think it's worth getting the foundation right before we start building the building? Yep. Yeah. And so people say, no, we just want to get to marketing. I say, not yet. Let's make sure we got these four right. Because these are the pillars that hold the building up. And if they're not right, if you don't have time management right, can we get you more leads? Anyone had any involvement with Spritz or any of those yet? Fantastic lead generator.
Who? Sorry?
Spritz. These websites where you get these offers on the day. Some people don't know about these. Wow. So what happens is these websites, they basically have a promotion of the day and they offer to promote your business. I've watched at least 3 businesses go broke because of it.
Like Kudo or something?
Yeah, like Kudo. Kudo's the same. So what happens, I met a girl who runs a massage, like body massage place. I have to clarify. And they put a special on there, $20 for a massage, half an hour. Within 2 days, they had bookings for the next 3 months. Here's the problem. She normally charges $80. And now all her clients who were paying $80 can't be fit in anymore because she's booked out. Because she couldn't deliver. So she went to marketing without checking out delivery and she shot herself in the foot.
It's not happy ending there, is there?
Very well.
I like it.
Okay, so back to page, whatever it was, back at the start.
7.
Page 7. The next level on the ladder is a thing called what? Niche. Who knows what niche is about? Which wide mile deep? What is a niche by definition? Who knows? A niche? Small space. Right. Because here's the problem. Most businesses service too many people. They try and be everything to everyone. And by doing that, they actually become less impactful in the market. Because what they haven't defined is their niche. Now, I talk about niche a lot, and anyone who's been in marketing understands niche. But most business owners don't get it. See, the way you know that you're in a niche in business is how? A thing called what? Who's in a price competitive market right now? Okay. For those of you in a price competitive market, the first thing you need to know is you're not in a niche. Because by definition, a niche is a very small area, which means there's no price competition. If you're competing on price, that means you're not in a niche. Does that make sense? Simple. And most people go, yeah, but you don't understand our business, everyone's in our business. Well, you need to make yourself a little bit different. Because if you're competing on price, there's a big danger here. What's the danger about competing on price? Discounting. So when someone discounts because they're competing on price, what are they teaching the customer? What's more important? Price. So who are they loyal to? They're loyal to that person or are they loyal to the price? Right. So what happens is you discount a bit more to get the business back. And the poor customer goes, well, they're cheaper. I'll go there. They're not loyal to anybody. Now, the danger is this is a no-win situation for everybody. You think the customer wins, the customer loses. Because businesses go out of business because of price competition. And there's nothing worse than paying too cheap. Who knows what I mean? You pay too little, what do you get? Too little. Right? So we need to eliminate price competition in our marketplace. How do we do it? How do you go into a niche? Right. Some of you may have heard this term before. We go to page 13. So step 2 is niche. A niche is where you have no price competition. And to have no price competition, you need to have a thing called a unique selling proposition. Who knows what it means? What is a unique selling proposition?
What differentiates you from everybody else?
You have to answer this question. Why should I buy from you and not your competitor? Because if you can't answer that question, you're not in a niche. And if all you give me is price, you're in big trouble. Because you're still not in a niche. So your unique selling proposition is why should I buy from you and not your competitor? And unless you work on this first, a lot of your marketing dollars is going down the drain. Because if you're just marketing based on your name, if you're just marketing based on price, all you're doing is attracting the wrong kind of people. Does that make sense? So that's USP. What's the second thing we need to put together?
Guarantee.
This is usually where I get people. Who has a guarantee in their business? In writing? Keep your hand up if it's in writing. Keep your hand up if it's compelling. Okay, starting to get that. See, here's an interesting thing about guarantees. Most people don't value them enough. Why is a guarantee so important? Because it actually improves the value of your product. Does that make sense? And how much does it cost to deliver on a guarantee? Usually nothing. Because we live in a market where the consumer has the advantage, true? If you go to a restaurant and the food is average, you'll still pay. If the food is bad, will you pay? No. You don't have to because you pay after the meal, right? So what happens is we have an implied guarantee in most businesses. We did some work with this company up in Queensland, very interesting, wedding photographer. Now my first question, when you engage a wedding photographer, who makes the buying decision? The wife. Okay, so when you create a guarantee, this is what you need to answer for a guarantee. What is the biggest fear of your customer? What's the biggest fear of the wife when it comes to getting wedding photography done? She's going to look good, right? That's her biggest fear. Actually, what we established is that it's that the photos turn out lovely. Does that make sense? Her biggest fear is the photos don't turn out. Or they make her look bad. So here's this guy, and he goes, we asked him, what's the biggest fear of your client? He said, it's simple. The biggest fear of my client is this. They fear the fact that the photos won't turn out on the day because it's a once in a lifetime, or in Australia 3 times in a lifetime experience. Right? So we put a guarantee in place. And we said, well, what are you going to guarantee? Well, we're going to guarantee the photos turn out. Yeah, but how are you going to guarantee it? Because just saying you guarantee it isn't enough, is it? You have to stand behind it. He said, I know. How about this? We put a guarantee together that says, we guarantee that if you're not satisfied with your photos...
Would be next wedding for free.
Very close. You've obviously met this guy, right? What we did is we said, we guarantee that if you're not satisfied with your photos, we will reshoot the whole wedding. We will pay for the venue, the formal hire, and any international guests that you had come into the country. And we will reshoot the whole scene for no charge. Is that impressive?
Yeah.
The problem was that he actually increased his price. Because now all of a sudden, there's price competition out the window. Because here's the wife going, we're going with him. But he hasn't told us how much yet, I don't care. He was charging double, by the way, just so you know, he was charging double the normal wedding photographer.
Was he involved on the guarantee?
Very good question. We did the sums, right? We did the calculation. How many international visitors does the average wedding have? Maybe 1, maybe 2. 2 return flights, about $2,000 each in those days, so it was about $4,000. How much does it cost to hire a church for an hour? A couple $100. Formal wear, $1,000. Limo, a couple $100. We worked out, worst case scenario, he'd be up for $6,000. He was charging 10. Here's the alternative. What happens if he shot the photos and none of them worked out? How much would he get? 0. She wouldn't pay. So what he did is he put this guarantee in place. Worst case scenario, he'd have to pay out about $6,000 or $7,000. He was praying for someone to want to get a reshoot done. Why?
Good PR.
Great PR. So what happened is a no-lose situation, because even if he failed and he shot it all again, he'd still cover his costs. He'd be better off. Does that make sense? But what else does a guarantee do to someone like that?
Confidence.
How many cameras do you think he'd take out on a shoot? 5. How many rolls of film do you think he took on a day? About 3 times as many as the average person. Why?
Guarantee.
And he could afford to. Now, which business would you rather work for? The discount photographer or the guy who's making enough money to cover all of those expenses? As a customer, which one do you prefer? Quality.
One in the middle.
Here's the point. How much is that guarantee worth to his business? Because even if he did pay out, the PR would be worth its money in itself. I've done the same thing with a mechanic, where we guaranteed that if the motor blows up after they modify it, they'll replace it for free. First thing he said to me is, "You crazy? How much it costs to replace those motors?" I said, "How long have you been in business?" He said, "I've been in business 10 years. How many motors have you blown up? One. In 10 years, you've blown up one motor. So if you blow up one motor, how much does it cost you? 5,000. So if you blow up one every 10 years for 5,000, how much is it costing you a year to have this guarantee? 500. That's if you blow one up. How much business will this guarantee bring you? And all of a sudden, the BFO, the light, job. Two things.